The meeting room smells faintly of coffee. Maya stands at the podium when her voice cracks on the words. I haven't used in 8 years, but I still dream about him. The room falls silent, every pair of eyes locked on her vulnerability. In the far back, partially hidden by shadows, sits Rafi. Older, wearier, with eyes that carry the weight of countless sleepless nights. He doesn't move, doesn't speak, but his gaze never leaves her. Maya feels it. She knows he's there without even looking, and it sends a shiver through her spine. The past she's fought so hard to bury is breathing again, alive in the same room. After the meeting, people swarm her with hugs and whispered congratulations, but she's barely present. Her thoughts are stuck on the man in the back row who didn't approach her. She steps outside into the cold night air, heart pounding, scanning the parking lot. He's leaning against a street lamp, cigarette unlit, as if waiting for courage more than for her. Their eyes meet, and the world seems to stop. No words, just the sound of distant traffic and the storm building in both of them. Finally, he steps forward, voice low and rough. You look different. So do you, she answers, her voice guarded but trembling. Years of pain, love, and betrayal hang heavy in the air between them. I'm clean, he says, but his eyes flicker, betraying a secret. So am I, she replies, but she doesn't say how many nights she's dreamed of his face, his touch, his destruction. They stand there, two broken souls stitched together by a history too intense to ignore. The past hasn't let go, and neither have they. What begins as a fragile reconnect ion spirals into a dangerous dance with temptation. Old wounds reopen. Old habits whisper. Old love burns. And as they navigate the thin line between healing and falling apart, Maya realizes the hardest fight isn't staying clean, it's facing the one person who could break her all over again. Every glance, every touch, every confession threatens to pull them under. And in the shadows of their reunion lurks a secret that could ruin everything, one that Rafi has carried for years. One that might explain why he disappeared and why he's back now. She fought 8 years to escape the past. Now, the past is standing right in front of her, and this time, it wants more than forgiveness, it wants her heart. And maybe her soul. Maya steps out into the night, stoic, wrapping her arms tightly around herself as though shielding from more than the cold. She walks quickly, her heels clicking against the wet pavement. Behind her, at a distance that feels both protective and haunting, Rafi follows, hands buried in his jacket, head low. Each step he takes echoes with memories they both try to bury. The street light flickers, and in that moment a flashback slices through her mind. 8 years earlier, a filthy alley, her body limp on the ground. The world spinning, her chest heavy with poison. A younger Rafi, frantic and wild-eyed, kneels beside her, screaming her name, slapping her cheeks, begging her not to leave him. He drags her back from the edge, his trembling hands holding her broken body. That night he saved her life, but it chained them together with invisible threads of trauma and guilt. The present pulls her back when she pushes open the door to a small cafe near the meeting hall. Its warmth feels almost foreign against the chill of her memory. She orders black coffee, clinging to the ritual like a lifeline, her clean world defined by small steady routines. She finds a corner table, where she stirs the coffee slowly, almost mechanically, when the bell above the door jingles. Rafi walks in. For a moment, neither moves. His presence is like an old song she swore she'd never play again. He approaches hesitantly. Mind if I? She nods, but the air between them is tight with unspoken history. They exchange pleasantries, voices low, smiles forced, each syllable hiding the storm beneath. Her hands stay wrapped around the coffee cup, grounding her in the present, but the flashes of chaos intrude: the needle, the screaming, the smell of blood and sweat, the night spent clutching a man who loved her in all the wrong ways. She blinks it away, locking eyes with him, steady, determined to be the version of herself she fought to build. Rafi, on the other hand, can't stop moving. His leg bounces under the table, his hands fidget with a napkin. When the check comes, he pulls out a wad of crumpled cash, peeling off bills like they burn his skin. The gesture is too much, too fast, as if paying for coffee could erase a decade of debts. Maya watches, her expression unreadable, but inside, 100 questions scream. Why is he here now? What does he want? And why, after everything, does her heart still race like this? The cafe hums around them, oblivious to the fragile world rebuilding and collapsing at the same time at that small table. Outside, the night presses against the glass, and with it, the shadow of the past waits to see if they will survive each other again. The next time they meet, it's at the same cafe, at the same corner table, as though the universe has carved out a place just for their fragile reunion. They both know coffee means more than caffeine. It's permission to drop the masks, to share what they've hidden from everyone else. The air between them feels softer, warmer, yet dangerously charged. Maya stirs her drink slowly, eyes down, before confessing in a voice barely above a whisper, "I haven't used in 8 years, but in my dreams, I still do. I wake up tasting it, hating myself for missing something that almost killed me." Her words hang heavy, but Rafi doesn't flinch. Instead, he leans forward, his voice rough and broken. "I go to meetings not just for me. I go to keep you alive in my head. I still see that alley, every night. I saved you, but I lost pieces of myself I can't get back. And sometimes I think maybe I'm still there, stuck with you on the ground." His confession cracks the air open. Maya looks at him, her walls trembling, seeing the man who's haunted her and realizing he's haunted too. In that moment, empathy replaces the anger she's held for years, and something like love flickers between them, unsteady, but real. Their connection deepens, a delicate balance of pain and tenderness. The way his hand lingers near hers, the way her laugh rare and shy slips out when he teases her about her obsession with herbal tea now. The flirtation is subtle, almost innocent, but it carries the weight of everything they've been through. For the first time, there's a sense they might be able to rebuild something from the ashes. But the past never lets go so easily. That night, as rain slicks the streets, Rafi's phone buzzes. He hesitates before answering, stepping out into the dark. A voice he hasn't heard in years oozes through the line, familiar and dangerous. "Got something for you, man. Just to celebrate. Old times, yeah." The offer is like a knife twisting in his gut. The temptation hums in his veins, whispering that one night won't hurt, that he deserves a break from the constant fight. The voice on the other end laughs, promising a quick escape. Rafi stands in the rain, trembling, the phone slick in his hand. We don't see what he chooses. Instead, we hear Maya's voice, soft yet resolute, cutting through the storm like a lifeline. "You don't owe me a speech." The hiss of rain on pavement. Rafi stands alone under a flickering streetlight, his breath visible in the cold air. The phone call ended minutes ago, but the temptation lingers like smoke. His hands tremble as he shoves the phone into his pocket. He walks, fast at first, then slower, as though dragging a weight behind him. Every corner he turns is a memory, dark alleys, backroom deals, the echo of Maya's voice screaming his name the night she almost died. Her words from earlier replay in his mind, "You don't owe me a speech." The next morning, Maya's routine unfolds with sharp precision. She makes her bed, pours black coffee, waters the single plant in her window. Everything in her life now is order and control, built brick by brick to keep the chaos out. But when she steps outside, her heart stutters. Rafi is leaning against her car, soaked from the rain, eyes bloodshot. For a terrifying moment, she can't tell if it's from tears or something else. He offers a small, fragile smile. I didn't take it," he says, voice shaking, as if admitting it to her makes it real. Relief and fear crash together in her chest. She wants to believe him. She almost does. They spend the day walking through the city, talking about everything except what they're really feeling. Rafi tells her about the years she didn't see, jobs he lost, nights he slept in his car, how every step forward felt like running from a ghost. Maya admits she's still afraid of herself, that one wrong move could send her back to the person she swore she'd never be again. As the sun sets, they end up on an empty bridge overlooking the water, the city lights reflecting below. For a moment, the world feels quiet, almost safe. He reaches for her hand, and she lets him. But safety is an illusion. Later that night, as Maya drives home, she glances in the rearview mirror and sees headlights trailing her too closely. Her chest tightens. She pulls over, heart pounding, only to find the car speeding past. Paranoia clings to her as she steps into her apartment. On her table sits a folded napkin, one she doesn't remember leaving there. It's from the cafe, with a scrawled note, "He's not who you think he is." Maya's blood runs cold. Who left it? What does it mean? The camera lingers on her face, caught between fear and doubt. She looks at her phone, hesitating, then dials Rafi. His voice on the other end is soft, almost too calm. "Maya, whatever you read, don't believe it." The screen cuts to black, the tension unbearable. We're left with the gnawing question. Is Rafi really clean, or is the darkness creeping back into both of their lives? The only certainty is that their story is far from over, and the past has more secrets left to reveal. The sober house is packed, the hum of whispered conversations blending with the faint scent of coffee and incense burning somewhere out of sight. It's Maya's 12-step anniversary, a milestone she's both proud of and terrified by. She steps to the podium, heart pounding, hands gripping the edges like a lifeline. The room quiets. Her voice trembles at first, but steadies as she shares her journey, how she crawled out of the alley, how every single day since has been a fight she chooses to win, how she's learned that sobriety isn't just about not using, it's about forgiving herself. The crowd nods, some cry, some smile. She pauses, swallowing the lump in her throat, and looks up. Her breath catches. Rafi is there. Standing in the back, leaning against the wall, eyes locked on hers with an intensity that makes the room disappear. It's like time collapses. Suddenly, it's just the two of them, the rest of the world fading into static. His presence is unexpected, almost defiant, as if he's come to prove something, to her or to himself. Maya's voice cracks mid-sentence, but she pushes through, the emotion boiling over. She speaks not just to the room now, but to him, every word a confession meant for his ears alone. As she finishes, the applause is deafening, but her eyes never leave his. He doesn't clap, doesn't move, just stands there absorbing her strength, his jaw tight with everything he wants to say but can't. When the crowd disperses, Maya steps down, weaving through well-wishers, her eyes scanning for him. She finds him outside, under the cold night sky, the glow of a streetlight washing over his face. They stand there, close enough to feel each other's breath, but not touching. "You came," she says softly, almost in disbelief. "I had to," he replies, his voice low, raw. "I needed to see you, to see if you made it." "I made it," she whispers, tears threatening to spill. "And me?" he asks, almost afraid of the answer. She studies him, her heart pounding with equal parts hope and dread. "I don't know yet." Before she can say more, a figure appears from the shadows, an old acquaintance of Rafi's, the same one who offered him pills before. The man smirks, holding something small and dangerous in his hand. "Celebration gift. Brother. One for old times." The world slows. Rafi's jaw tightens, fists clenching, the temptation screaming louder than ever. Maya's voice cuts through the night, calm but sharp, the only anchor he has left. "You don't owe me a speech." Maya steps out of the sober house, the cool night air washing over her like a baptism. The street is empty except for Rafi, who waits under the dim glow of a flickering streetlight. For a moment, neither speaks. The silence between them is loaded with every memory, every mistake, every unspoken word that has built up over 8 years. She finally takes a breath, her voice steady but fragile. "Still dreaming?" she asks, searching his face for truth. Rafi takes a step closer, eyes locked on hers, and for once there is no shadow of the past in his expression. "Only dreams I want are real," he says, and the words land heavy with sincerity, with a promise he's never been able to give before. Maya studies him, her guard wavering, her heart pounding against her ribs. She searches his eyes, not for perfection, but for honesty, and finds it there, raw and unpolished. Slowly, almost hesitantly, he extends his hand to her. It's not the hand of the man who pulled her out of an alley years ago, nor the hand of the man who disappeared into the dark. It's the hand of someone choosing to fight, not just for himself, but for something greater. She stares at it, the weight of her choice pressing down on her, then slips her fingers into his. Together, they start to walk, their steps quiet, the night stretching out before them like an uncharted road. There's no certainty, no grand declarations, no guarantees, just two broken people choosing each other over the ghosts that have haunted them for so long. The camera lingers as they disappear into the darkness, their silhouettes framed by the cold glow of the streetlight. The air hums with hope, drenched in realism and rawness. They're not saved, not yet, but they're sober, they're alive, and for the first time in years, they're not running from the past. They're walking towards something new, something terrifying, something real.